Hello everyone and welcome to UWA Behind the Chains, episode 10, the State of UWA Act 2 edition. I'm here with our epically awesome Fedhead Chris. How's it going there, dude?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. To start this off, I'm actually going to pin Chris with a couple of Chris-related questions, not Fed-related, because I realise I've never actually done a podcast with him, knowing that it's him. And
woohoo!
And Chris doesn't actually know that I was going to do this, so good time.
Woohoo!
Okay, so first off, who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
I am Chris. I am from a little town on the border of Iowa and Illinois. Same town that Sentinel Sandler is in, actually. And I work for the phone company. I work for the devil.
The devil. Yes, I'm having issues with my phone company, so yes, you work for the devil.
Yes, I work for the devil.
Okay, so you started UWA back in January. What made you want to open up your own Fed?
It isn't my first one.
Oh, isn't it?
No. When I retired officially from roleplay 3 or 4 years ago, it was when the last Fed I ran closed. And that Fed closed because the staff self-destructed on itself. And then I came to that other Fed where I met you. And
the other Fed that shall remain nameless.
Yeah, well, we can name them now. They're closed.
Oh yeah, New Era. Shithole.
Yeah. Well, it had its positive points. Come on now.
It did.
You know, but I came there.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have stayed there for like nearly 4 years.
Right.
If it was bad.
But I came there and because of Shane, actually, and I wanted to give my longest running character a cap for his story arc, an ending, because the last 3 years of his storyline had been completely rewritten by the handler of the woman he was married to, without my consent. And so here I am with a character who's half crazy because his daughter just died, and I had no idea what to do with it. So I come into New and I run the whole story arc with him taking that girl Candace under his wing because she reminded him of his daughter Jasmine, and ending, of course, as with my homage to my favorite show of all time, Sons of Anarchy, with this character being beaten to death to save his brother Eric. And then when I introduced the new character, who you all know now, ended up becoming the new incarnation of this character became Father Joshua. But the original idea was just he was a bounty hunter who saw the ghost of the little girl he couldn't save, and was being stalked by the little girl's older sister, who, ironically enough, her new incarnation is Joshua's priestess, Maiko.
Yeah.
And then I happened to listen to a podcast in New, where there were some things said I just felt were completely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I happened to notice a couple of things being said in their chat group that were downgrading someone who I consider a friend.
Yeah.
This guy came into the last Fed I ran. He came into that Fed because I told him to. Because I told him, dude, I'll take care of you. Like, I knew the Fed he was in before he came to my Fed, and this Fed really did treat him like shit.
Yeah, New Era did.
No, before New Era.
Before that.
Yeah,
oh.
Before that. The last Fed he was in before my Fed. Really did treat this guy like garbage. And so when I went and talked to him, I was like, dude, come over to this company here, this game here, I'll take care of you. I'll make sure that even if your work isn't top-notch, you're not going to get jobbed out just because you're not up to par with the elite. And his character never did get jobbed out because he wasn't up to par with the elite. Never once.
Yep.
I mean, he didn't get the exposure he may have wanted, but I mean, he got the exposure that he had earned with his RPs.
Yeah.
And then I come to New, and I see the way this guy is being treated, and it greatly offends me.
Mm.
And so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. They decided they were going to kick out 3 or 4 people.
Including myself?
Including yourself. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just create my own company again. Equally for people in New who are being kicked out unceremoniously, there we go, for things that weren't their fault, but also because one of the staff members in the last company I ran now runs an eFed themselves. I'm not going to give that eFed credit by giving names. I'm not going to blast the other staff member. But let's just say that word reached me that they were blasting me, saying that they were the only reason that this company did as well as it did, that I was, I couldn't run an eFed to save my life, and this and that and this and that. And so, equally as opening a place for you guys to play where you wouldn't get treated the way New treated you, I had something to prove.
Well, I think you've proven it.
Well, not yet. I won't feel like I've proved my point to myself and to a few other people until UWA's been open at least a year.
Sure, it's not quite there yet.
It's not quite there yet. We're about halfway, so.
Yeah, what are we at, like 8 months?
I believe 7 months? I believe, yeah.
We're past the halfway point.
Right. So, that's a long-ass answer, but there you go. That's the answer.
Hey, sometimes long-ass answers are the best.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Next question is, what are the pros and cons of UWA in your eyes?
The pros and cons of UWA. The lack of match writers still irritates me.
True.
The same people who were writing matches before are still doing so, and I want to take this time, even though we're not into the UWA questions yet, I do want to take this opportunity to thank Freeman, Baron, Ryan, Shane, and Chris L. They have been writing matches since they came in essence. Ryan, Chris L, and Shane have been writing since day one. Freeman and Baron have began writing, I believe, a month after they joined, and haven't stopped. So I do want to put it out there that UWA would not be as good as it is without these 5 guys.
No, you need your match writers, eh?
As far as like the pros that you asked about UWA, there's a very distinct talent level here that nobody is left out. There's somebody, if you come in and your writing is not the greatest, you can't, because of time measurements or because of, you're just not a great writer, you can only do like a paragraph at a time. You have people you can feud with.
Yeah.
If you are, the middle of the pack, you have people you can feud with. If you're somebody like Shane, who writes, a small short story per post,
yeah,
then you have people you can feud with. That's one thing I'm loving about UWA. No matter what level you're in, I'm always going to have something for you to do. So, there you go. That's your answer.
All good. Okay, who are your favorite characters in UWA? Face and heel, please.
Face and heel.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, or through the entire length of the storyline?
Through the whole story.
Through the whole story arc?
Well,
okay.
just UWA in general, from start to finish.
Well, cause I ask because there are certain people who are heels now who weren't heels before.
True.
So are we talking, is your question, who do I think is the best heel and faces right now, or overall?
Overall.
Best face, in my opinion, is Joshua McBride.
He's a face?
Sorry, best heel. Sorry. Okay, yeah, you got that. Okay, the best heel is Joshua, because no matter what he does, even the people who aren't involved in his particular story arc, like, right now, the story arc consists of Aaron, Jessica, and Kiss. That's it. But even people who aren't involved in that story arc, Kyle Travis is always talking about Joshua. Yep. Freeman and Baron are mentioning Joshua. I think Brooks has mentioned Joshua a couple of times. So he is the best heel in my opinion because his heelness is so far-reaching.
Yeah.
As far as the best face, I know she's gonna kill me for this. Bethany.
I'd have to agree.
Bethany is the only one who was able to go into this story arc and come out of it still a face.
Yeah.
You know, Jessica went into it a neutral,
Mhm.
and came out of it a neutral.
Yeah.
Aaron went into it a face and is coming out of it a heel.
Yeah.
You know, Ashley went into it a borderline heel and is coming out of it a borderline heel.
Yeah.
But Bethany went into it as a neutral character and came out of it like this massive super babyface.
Mm.
And if I had to pick somebody other than Bethany as far as faces are concerned, Freeman.
Alright.
Freeman. Yeah. And if I had to pick a second heel, Vince Jones.
Alright.
There are some people in UWA, and this has been said publicly, that don't like Vince Jones's work. I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't like it because they didn't grow up where I grew up.
Yeah.
You know, Vince Jones is 100% legit. His gimmick is 100% true.
Mm.
I mean, there are people who can look at this and go, okay, well, it seems a little over the top to me. And I can go, no. I remember, and I can recall walking out of my front door and seeing dudes just like Vince Jones shooting dice in the alley next to my house.
Mm.
Who talk exactly like Vince talks. Who views the world exactly as Vince views the world. Who treats women exactly as Vince treats women.
Mm.
I mean, I remember vividly walking out of my house and seeing these dudes slinging dice or seeing these dudes selling dope on the corner. Like, I'm from South Central LA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he is 100% accurate in his portrayal of the character he's portraying. I love it. I absolutely love Vince Jones. I'm a mark.
You're a mark?
I am. I won't even say it. Okay. That's your answer.
That's my answer. Okay, so who in your opinion is the best role player in the Fed?
I'm going to give this 3 answers.
Okay.
I'm going to give overall the history of the company.
Mhm.
I'm going to give who, in my opinion, was the best for the longest period.
Mhm.
And then my answer for who is the best now.
Okay.
The best overall in the history of the company is Nick Daniels.
Yeah.
He got very angry at something I did as a staff member, and he bailed. And I'm okay with that. You know, you aren't happy with me. Don't blast the company, which you didn't. You know, don't stick around and harass the members out of character, which he didn't. He just left, and I'm okay with that.
Mm.
The best for the longest period is Shane Sentinel.
Yeah.
The best right now
Yep.
is either Aaron or Bethany.
Mm. I agree with every single one of those. Okay, so the next question is, who is your favourite UWA couple, be it friends, enemies, tag partners, or lovers?
Okay, I'm going to get some heat for this.
Okay.
I'm serious. I don't like the dynamic of the Sin City Knights.
Oh. Why that?
I don't know. It's nothing against Pat or Chris at all.
Mm.
I think they're both great writers, and they've done things to further UWA by leaps and bounds. But Freeman, Baron, Jade, and I forget the other one's name.
Oh. Yeah, I can't remember the other one either.
Well, anyway, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't like the dynamic of them together. I can't put my finger on it. I just don't.
Oh.
Craven and Skylar could have had potential.
Mm. Yeah.
If more was put into them.
Yeah. I've kind of been a bit liking there, haven't I?
Well, they went from being a really interesting storyline.
Mm.
And then when they reconnected, instead of it being about them reconnecting and their story, They just became Sin City Night lackeys.
Mm.
And I'm sorry if that makes you or Ryan mad.
Doesn't make me mad. It takes a lot to make me mad. A lot.
I liked Brody and Jessica.
Me too.
For the wide array of the story arc that was with them. From them hating each other to the on-air feud they had to, you know, marrying in secret with neither one of them realizing it because they were drunk, to her and Kiss's plan to educate Brody.
Yeah.
And then each of them falling in love with the other and not meaning to.
Mm-hmm.
It without that particular arc, the children's story with taking Brody and torturing him would not have meant nearly as much.
No.
You know, Brody was being tortured by her and Melissa.
Mm.
And she was being tortured by the fact that he was being tortured.
Yeah.
So without the coming together of these two characters, what they were doing to Brody wouldn't have meant shit.
No.
It's hard to figure out like the couples I like the most because I don't really like any of them. For my own reasons. Some of them I'm not going to get into because I don't want the blowback.
Okay, fair enough.
There are specific couples that if I give my honest opinion, I'm going to hear about it for a week. All right. Here's my answer. Okay. My favorite couple in UWA is Vince Jones and his girl.
Oh.
Because as I'm reading these promos, like for example, the night after Vince Jones won the North American title, when his girl, whatever her name is, walked into that hotel room and found that little bimbo like blonde in his bed, I'm rolling the whole time I'm reading this promo.
Oh.
You know, she whips back the covers and sees that little blonde wearing the North American title, and she about kills this chick. You know, that was epic. Mm. If I had to go my favorite enemy couple, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
But if I have to go something that has, the dynamic of the relationship's destruction between Aaron and Logan.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I liked that.
Mm.
And that's the only answer I could think of.
Okay, I'll take it. Do you have a planned ending for your character's story, or are you just along for the ride?
Brody, yes. Father Joshua, no.
Okay.
Brody most definitely has an expiration date. The expiration and how long it takes to get there depends on the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
But Father Joshua, I'm gonna ride that bitch till the wheels fall off.
Fair enough.
It's Joshua McBride never meant to become this, but he has become what my original character Snake was meant to be.
Ah.
So there you go.
Alright. And the last one in this section is from your lovely girlfriend T. She wants to know if you could if you could choose any person in UWA to wake up to next to, who would it be and why? Character and
T.
handler.
T, because if I don't say that, she will murder me in my sleep.
What about character?
None, because if I answer that question, she will murder me in my sleep.
Fair enough.
Any character and handler to wake up lying next to? My answer, T, because if I don't answer T, she will kill me in my sleep. Character, none, because if I answer any other thing but none, she will kill me in my sleep. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, T.
Now go away, we're doing the podcast.
Has she done her ice bucket challenge yet?
That's so not going to happen. No, she hasn't. We're doing that after this is over. No. The Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes. And just remember, for those of you that I do nominate, I love you.
Yeah, anyway. So, I guess we're going into the UWA Act 2 questions now, right?
We are.
Alright, let's rock and roll.
Yep. These first ones are from Roro. He wants to know, what are your general thoughts on the sheer amount of factions, groups, stables in UWA?
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, to answer the question, my thought on the sheer amount of stables. We don't have the roster for it, people.
No, we don't.
But one of those stables isn't necessarily a stable. That being the girls.
Mm.
You know, this is a hodgepodge group set to combat the children.
Yeah.
The Sin City Knights aren't necessarily going to be one. They're not really a stable either.
No.
You know, it's a team with friends.
Yeah.
Which would make the only real stables here the biker group and the children.
Yeah.
And it's not so bad when you look at it that way.
Yeah. Do you think think it's similar to WCW when they had the MWO, Wolfpack, LWO, etc.?
No, because the biggest thing about the WCW with the whole NWO thing is it was WCW trying to get as much out of a single group as they could.
Mm.
So they started splintering groups. You know, the NWO became the NWO and the NWO Wolfpack. Then that got turned into the Latin, the Mexican version of the NWO. Whereas, you know, in order for it to be, if it were to be like that in UWA, there'd have to be 4 or 5 different factions of the children, or 4 or 5 different factions of the biker group, or 4 or 5 different factions of Sin City. So I don't view it that way now.
No. Okay, what do you believe are the benefits of having, of being part of a successful group like Sin City Knights, the Children, etc.?
The ability for multiple story arcs to run, all at the same time.
Mm.
Like, you could have the overall story arc involving the group itself.
Yep.
And then you have the individual story arcs for each individual character.
Mm.
And then you have the individual feud story arcs for the individual characters.
Mm.
Whereas with a single person by himself, all you have to play on is yourself.
Mm.
You don't have the other storylines that can tie into your own.
Yeah.
So that would be the plus to being in a group like that.
Yeah. Okay, what benefits are there for those characters who aren't aligned with any of these groups, like Amy Zing or Jay Shades, for example?
They don't have to share the spotlight. That's the downside of being in a group. When you're in a group, if your group is dominant, your group is dominant.
It's not just
you. Exactly. Whereas if you're by yourself and you're dominant and you're becoming a dominant force, it's because you're a dominant force. But if you're part of a group who's a dominant force, who's to say which part of the group is the dominant part of it? So, there you go.
Alright. Since none of the titles will be vacant after Raising Hell, which title do you think will change hands the quickest, and which do you think will stay with its current owner the longest? And then he says, good luck answering that without pissing anyone off.
Yeah, the title I believe will change hands the fastest is the tag team titles.
Alright.
Strictly because the talent level of the 4 or 5 teams that are in the tag team division are so close to each other that no matter who faces who for the tag titles, there's no guarantee the champions are going to walk out champion.
Yeah.
And as far as who I think will keep the title, I can't answer that because that would answer who's walking out with the titles.
That is true.
Wait a minute. When's this podcast going up?
I could post it after the show if you want.
Okay, please, yeah, because then I can answer.
Okay.
If I had to pick a champion to stay a champion, it would be Vince Jones.
Cool. Why is that? Just because he's good, or?
Because he did about what I expected him to do.
Ah.
Which is, he showed in these newest promos, guess what? I can shoot.
He did step up, didn't he?
So, it's a whole different dynamic for Vince Jones now. He's not that one-dimensional guy who can only tell a story. He can shoot, and it's been proven.
Yep.
So, it's Vince Jones is going to be very dangerous.
He could very well be. So the next question is, who is your favourite non-combatant character in UWA so far? As in a character who isn't on the active roster, could be a manager, interviewer, commentator, someone's best friend, or whatever. You can pick a few if you can't just pick one.
Okay, because I have a couple that I absolutely detest. But we're not going to get into that because I don't want to piss people off.
I don't know, you can get into it if you want.
No. I will hear about this from multiple sources if I knew. Hell no.
Okay. Maybe
the ones
tell
I
me
like.
later.
Yeah, I can do that. The ones I like. I love Samuel.
Ah.
Samuel has stepped up in a way since the children got here that even though Oliver has been indoctrinated, Samuel has become the driving force of this quote-unquote rebellion.
Oh.
You know, when it looked like the girls were going to splinter and fracture, he was the one that showed them where Brody was to unite them.
Yeah. He's the one who got them to the bar and...
Yes, exactly. Because he knew that's where Brody would be. Let's see, who else? I can't recall this chick's name now.
Okay.
The damn announcer chick.
Oh.
Not the announcer, I'm sorry. The Jamie Hensley.
Ah.
That's her name. And I say that because I never expected people to react the way they did to what Aaron did to her.
Oh.
You know, people reacted in a way I did not nearly expect for what Aaron did, and it's because they like the Jamie Hensley character, I think. Let's see, who else? I want to pick at least one from an actual, our peers story. I forget her name. She's friends with Skylar.
Oh, fuck, I've just forgotten her name. Sin.
Is it? Thank you. Is it? Sin. Yes, I was just thinking. Is it Sin? Yeah, I like Sin. She's a bit naive, but I like her. She's cool.
We got Ryan to thank for her. He writes her.
Ah, well then, thank you, Ryan. You write a good character.
Who does?
All right, what's next?
Alright, the next set of questions are from Freeman.
Okay.
He wants to know, with Act 2 drawing to a close, who for you has been the standout star of this act?
Bethany. Hands frickin' down. I planned the children, girls story arc for Act 2 as Aaron's shining moment. As, a feud which Aaron would separate herself as being, the alpha female, the dominant force. And then Ryan brings this frickin' chick out of nowhere. I'm not going to lie to you. When I began the preparations for Act 2, I looked at Kiss like, Ashley Kenyon was the workhorse and Bethany was the hanger-on. She was the lackey of the group. You know, the heavy hitters of Arsenal were Jessica and Ashley. And Bethany was just someone who got coffee.
Yeah.
Is the way I looked at this group. And then literally, he brings Bethany out of freaking nowhere. And Bethany, you know, Bethany went from being like the bottom of the totem pole to the number 2 or 3 person in the entire company over the course of a single storyline.
Yeah. Or even just in that 1 week, that one promo that he did that was just, wow.
Yeah, that promo that blew the entire company away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his work has not gone down since then.
No. No, it hasn't.
You know? If I had to pick someone as a standout that's not Bethany, Maiko. She's another one that when I planned the children, I planned it to be Joshua and the rest.
Ah.
But Maiko has stood up, and she stands shoulder to shoulder with that man, including with her promos. She writes some of the creepiest shit with Maiko I've ever read in my life. You know, that promo she did, beating the twins, oh my god! Like, I read that, and I cringed. And of course, I say that, and it brings tea out of the bedroom. What? Creepiest shit I've ever seen. I'm talking about the whipping of the twins. Yeah, that was, yeah. So, yeah, that's my answer. On the one spectrum, it's Bethany. On the other, it's Maiko.
Okay. What is your personal favorite moment from Act 2?
My personal favorite moment from Act 2. See, that's hard, because there are so many.
Name more than one if you want.
Alright.
No more than 3.
No more than 3. Okay, no more than 3. Alright, I've got 1. I've got 2. Alright, I got 3.
Alright.
Number 3, and I'm going to list this as, you know, in my opinion, what's worst to best.
Okay.
Okay, number 3, Brody's return.
Oh.
That moment with the violin and when Jessica's about to give herself up, and then he comes back. Number 2, Aaron's descent to madness. And number 3, that brawl between Freeman and Vince frickin' Jones.
That was pretty epic.
You know, that brawl between these two was absolutely amazing. Okay, what's next?
Okay, what are your thoughts overall on Act 2? What worked perfectly, and what, if anything, you wish had... That makes no sense. What would you do differently? I think is what he's trying to say.
Okay, so as far as Act 2 as a whole, what would I do differently and what do I think worked?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's hard. That is very, very difficult. The progression of the storyline came off pretty much like I expected it to. So, I mean, that's a good thing. Okay. One, I would have had Oliver Giorgio be a little more active. He got indoctrinated and then just kind of vanished. You know, there was one segment early into the act where Joshua is sitting behind his desk and he's standing off in the corner like a subordinate. And I think that's the last time anybody's seen Oliver Giorgio.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him since that.
Yeah, so I mean, I would have had Oliver be a more active participant. Some of these answers are going to piss people off. I would have kept a bit tighter of a rein on certain portions of the storyline.
What parts?
The initial abduction of Melissa came off better than I was expecting, and then when Joshua had her in his custody, he had to do things that weren't necessarily, at the time, I thought Joshua like. This is a dude who tortured Brody.
Yeah.
This is a dude who takes the old cases he had as a bounty hunter, those that got off on technicalities, he takes these people, tortures them, and turns them into his children.
Yeah.
But he's not going to touch Melissa.
It does seem weird, doesn't it?
Right. But I made it work, because when I'm rewriting the reveal at the end, you find out that Melissa was only ever a means to an end.
Yeah.
He had no interest in her. She was irrelevant in his eyes. She meant nothing. He wanted Aaron broken and a member of the children. He wanted Brody shattered and a member of the children. And he wanted Jessica completely alone with no one to turn to except Brody as a member of the children, so she would join.
Yeah.
That was his end game, to get these three into the children and then literally crush UWA.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not gonna. It obviously did not work out that way.
No, you didn't count on Melissa, did you?
You know. Well, no. I mean, his end game. Aaron, even though she got broken, did not join the children. Brody, even though he got shattered, escaped.
Yeah.
So I mean, the finest laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah.
You know. Let's see if there's anything else in Act 2 that I can think of. I should not have forgotten about the tag team titles.
No.
The tag team titles getting thrown onto this card destroyed, in my opinion, the card. People were in matches they shouldn't have been. Focus got taken away from specific characters because people had to write multiple characters. Yeah, that irritated me a little bit, but I understand where the people who were in the matches, where they were coming from when they asked me for them. You know, when Pat came to me and asked for the tag team title match and wanted to know what's going on with it, I understand where he was coming from, so I don't blame him for doing what he did. You know. I think that's the best answer you guys are going to get without severely pissing people off.
Already, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Alright, with Act 2 ending, which superstar or superstars do you think can be standouts, God, I can't talk apparently, in the Act 3 time period?
One of the biggest stars, quote unquote, of Act 3 isn't even here yet.
Oh.
They will not be introduced until the show, I believe it's the next pay-per-view, actually.
Oh.
And as far as any current people who could be, breakthrough in this period, I would not put it in the realm of the non-possible to see Bethany as world champion.
Yeah, I could see that.
I would not see it out of the realm of possibility to see Vince Jones as world champion. My prediction is going to be Kyle Travis will gain some form of a title during this act.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one, but I just call it a hunch. He's really good when he wants to be. When he can stop focusing on shit that's irrelevant, he's very, very good.
Yeah.
Of course, there are certain people who I thought would play a big role who aren't going to be here anymore.
Sorry.
Jessica was right up there with who I thought would be world champion, or maybe world champion. Which you and I need to discuss that anyway. I just realized.
Okay.
Because of what I told you before this started.
Okay.
So, this way we don't give anything away to people. I'm going to do it after the podcast is over.
Sounds good.
Okay. So next question.
Alright. Who do you expect to be challenging for the world title, NA title, tag title, and TV titles in Act 3?
NA title, Silver Baron, Kyle Travis, and Ashley Kenyon.
Alright.
Tag titles, Cornbread, Song Rial, and Ben Elohim.
Cool.
Television title, Jay Shades, Bob Brooks, if he sticks around. And Craven. World title, Bethany Kenyon, Vince Jones, Fraser Freeman, and Brody.
Cool.
You notice there's one major name missing from all those titles.
Yeah.
Joshua.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I'm not booking Joshua as having any title matches, at least through. I have a plan that I want to try to do as a role player.
Mm.
I will announce this now. Act 4 will have no major overarching story arc.
Ooh.
Act 4, in its entirety, is going to be a Bound for Glory type series.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
And my goal is to bring it with Joshua to the point where he ends up winning this tournament.
When does Act 4 start?
Act 3 officially begins at the first Mayhem after Raising Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Act 3 is the October pay-per-view
Mm-hmm.
and the December pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah?
Act 4 officially begins at the Mayhem directly following the December pay-per-view. I have names for these two pay-per-views, but you know what? I'm going to put it up to a vote to you guys. Because me and Shane were talking about this, and he wasn't a big fan of the name for these next two pay-per-views.
Oh.
So I'm going to use the podcast to begin a vote. Y'all let me know via PM if you like these two names or not, and if I should change them, okay?
Right, what are the names?
The October pay-per-view is called All Hallows Eve.
Oh, yeah?
The December pay-per-view is called Savage Slayer Ride.
Oh, yeah?
Playing into Halloween and Christmas, obviously.
Obviously.
So, y'all let me know what you think. Do you like them, or should they be changed? Let me know by PM.
Okay, will do.
Alright, next question.
Okay, the next lot of questions are from Ryan.
Okay?
And he says, will the tag team division be booked more consistently as teams moving forward?
I'll try. That's the answer you're getting. I hate tag teams, so I'll try. For those of you out there who play tag teams, that would be Ryan, that would be Chris and Pat, that would be Chris L. Any of you out there who play tag teams, if you want your tag teams booked consistently, talk to me before I do the card for each freaking show. Otherwise, I will blank it, I will ignore it, I hate tag teams, I try not to think about them.
Why do you hate tag teams so much?
I always have. I think tag team wrestling is the dumbest concept to ever hit wrestling, ever.
Why is that?
I have, in my entire wrestling fandom, which I started late compared to a lot of y'all. You know, I didn't start watching wrestling, like, the event that got me into wrestling, honest to God, was the 16 chair shots Mick Foley took from The Rock during the WWF title match at Royal Rumble.
You probably started watching not long around the time that I watched. It was about 99.
98, 99, yeah.
Yeah, so you're about the same.
That's when I started. And, I mean, in all that time, I have found one tag team I like. One. The New Age Outlaws.
Oh.
I mean, Crime Time, you know, the Highlanders, you know, the world's greatest tag team with Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian. I hated them all. I was so happy to see Edge break away and go single.
Oh.
Me and you have actually discussed Edge.
We have.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, putting it out there for people. If y'all want the tag team division booked more consistently, remind me when I'm doing these cards. Otherwise, I'm not going to remember it.
Okay. His next question, I don't actually know what he means by it, but is the Freebird rule actually a thing in UWA?
It will be, yes. Now, to explain to Selena, anybody else not listening, because I know what this rule is. The Freebird rule is, we all know, since this podcast goes up after, and Selena, you're going to hear some things that you don't know yet, since obviously the show isn't done yet.
Okay.
The Sin City Knights have won the tag team titles.
Nice.
Okay. Now, what the Freebird rule is, the Freebird rule states that since the Sin City Knights consist of Silver Baron, Fraser Freeman, the Protector, Skylar, and Craven, the tag team titles can be defended by any two members of this group.
Oh.
So, even though the Protector and Silver Baron won the titles, Skylar and Craven can defend them.
Good luck Skylar doing it, though. I'm going to be injured, aren't I?
Huh?
I'm taking her out, aren't I?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm putting it as an example.
Yeah.
You know, Skylar and Craven can defend them, even though they never won them. That's the Freebird rule. Okay, so I mean, Baron and Freeman can defend them. Freeman and Craven can defend them. It's any two people in the group can defend these titles.
Cool.
So yes, the Freebird rule is most definitely in effect.
Cool. Okay, the next question from him is, does the accent thing help or hurt the Cornbread Mafia?
To me or to the judges?
All of the above?
Okay, the accent thing doesn't hurt them to me. As much as I bitch about them, as much as I hate that accent, I will not take points off a judgment or a win away from Cornbread just because I hate the accent.
Okay.
I have never had a judge come to me. No, I take that back. I have had one judge come to me and say he did not want to judge this match because he finds it difficult to read Cornbread.
Oh, really?
He didn't say I want Cornbread to lose or I vote against Cornbread because of the accents. He just recommended not judging it because he had trouble reading it and didn't want the accent to become a factor.
Okay, fair enough.
So I guess the answer to that question is like a mixture of both.
Alright.
That make sense?
I think so.
Okay. So, did he have more?
Yeah, there's more. There's like six more.
Oh, wow, nice.
Hey, have Joshua and the children developed the way you wanted? Have they gone over better or worse than you expected?
Okay, no, they have not developed the way I wanted. But that's more my fault than anybody else's. It seems like whenever a big match comes along, I have real life kicked me in the crotch. At the last pay-per-view that the children were supposed to dominate this pay-per-view, I had an entire inspection on my apartment for 4 or 5 straight days.
A what? What?
An inspection on my apartment. The landlord wanted to come in and do some things to the apartment over the course of like a week and a half.
Oh.
So, I mean, when I should have been writing role plays to literally drive the stake into the heart of these girls, I couldn't do it. And then on this pay-per-view, I decided, even though we all the children lost, like they were supposed to, honestly. This was supposed to be the shining moment for the girls, when the girls put the children down permanently. I tried to do something different with my role plays for them, where I tried to do the shoot in a weird way, and it really came back to bite me in the ass. When I got the judgments for this main event, the 2 Joshua promos I wrote were voted 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Or 4 out of 10, I believe, actually. 4 out of 10. And it's because the judges did not like what I was, the idea I was trying to do.
The whole Devil's Carnival thing.
Well, it's not so much, it's the fact that I tried to do the shoot. I picked the songs I did because they're what Joshua was going to be shooting about.
Yeah.
The fact that Brody can't sleep now, the fact that he has nightmares, the fact that there's more going on between him and Janie than he's letting on. Joshua was trying to drive a wedge between Brody and Jessica and Brody and now Bethany by letting the girls know, hey, he escaped, he didn't come back to you, and there's more to this little redhead than he's telling you. And he was supposed to shoot about, his ultimate plan and what his plan was for them all, and how he's officially declaring war on UWA, and this battle will destroy their defenses, so to speak. But because I didn't actually put that in the form of a verbal shoot, it came back to bite me in the ass.
True.
Other than that, the children's storyline came off exactly like I was hoping it would. It built Jessica to where when she comes back, she's going to be a monster when she comes back. It built Bethany into the caliber of superstar I didn't even think Ryan could play, to be honest with you. Ryan has shocked the hell out of me in a very pleasant way. It built Brody to being this douchebag heel to someone the fans can get behind. And it built the children as this methodical, heartless, merciless organization that if you cross them, not only will they destroy you, they'll destroy everything you love.
Yeah.
So, if the answer to that question from Ryan is like a yes and no.
Alright. Well, the next question is, has there been any character you didn't expect to last that has?
I did not expect Ben Elohim to go as long as I didn't. I thought they'd get brought in and the handler would get tired of them. If that makes sense. When Jay Shades no-showed that one show, I figured he was done. And he came back at Raising Hell, and honest to God, he came within a hair's breadth of beating Amy Zing for the title. I'm going to tell him this via PM after the show's over when the results go up. Had he just added another, 2 paragraphs to each of these promos, he'd won the title. Let's see, who else did I not expect to last? I will say this: I did not expect a specific dominatrix to become so thrusted into this storyline. I had to rewrite some of it because of that, and I want to kick both of y'all. But other than those 3, I expected pretty much where everybody is, for the most part, because of Act 1.
Alright.
And what's Ryan's next question?
It is the Crow group going to end up like the children was, in a sense that it's like 2 named people and then a host of unnamed faceless cannon fodder around the 2 characters that matter?
Is who? Oh, okay, I know who he's talking about now. It took me a second to figure out who the hell he was talking about. Why are you Gundam style dancing behind me?
Video, please, or it didn't happen.
There's something wrong with you. Anyway, he's talking about the biker group.
Yeah.
He calls them the Sam Crow group.
Yeah.
They are exactly what Ryan thinks they are. I'm not going to reveal too much because that is their handler's responsibility. But they are going to be. It isn't even going to be 1 or 2 that are cannon fodder. It's the whole group is a harbinger for something else. 2 something else's actually. I'm not sure what the handler is going to do with the group of bikers after these 2 events have happened. I'm not sure if he's going to keep them around as a enforcer style group or if they're going to fade to black after that. But that's what they are.
Right. The next question is, how big would the explosion be? Okay, I'll start that again.
Yeah, start again.
How big would the explosion have been if before the accent stopped being written out, the Worleys had brought in an entire stable of rednecks that talked that way.
I would have personally hunted him down and shot him dead.
So no explosion then, just dead Ryan.
Yeah, no explosion, just dead Ryan.
And how hard would T have laughed?
Let me ask her, actually. Come here. If Ryan had decided to bring in, before he got rid of the accents and wrote them normally, if Ryan had decided to bring in an entire host of rednecks with that accent and write them as a group, how bad would that explosion have been?
And would she have laughed?
She just nodded and walked. She just nodded, laughed, and walked away. So yeah, I personally would have hunted Ryan down and killed him.
Okay. Would there still be an explosion if more rednecks showed up around the Worleys?
I don't think so. As long as he learns from my mistake.
Your mistake?
My mistake was I brought in the children as a bunch of nameless cannon fodder.
Mm-hmm.
And the only ones that have any real personality are Maiko, Joshua, and the twins.
True.
The others are just there.
True.
And if he can give each of these rednecks their own generic person, or not generic, sorry, their own individual personality to where each is different from the other, then I don't see it being a big deal. If they all become, if UWA ends up becoming a group of stables that have just cannon fodder generic members, it's going to be a huge problem.
Maybe they'll have some water down there.
I just started playing a video on my computer by accident.
Nice.
I opened a news story about the quake in California, and it had a video on it.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I couldn't hear it.
Oh, that's good then.
Alright, so what's
Hooray
next?
for headphones. That was actually the last question.
That was the last question from Ryan.
It was the last question at all.
Okay, do you have any UWA Act 2 related questions for me?
I actually don't. They pretty
Okay.
much covered them all.
Alright, then I will go into the Act 2 address then.
Okay.
If you have any questions or you want any clarifications, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Now, the Act 2 storyline, I went over the fact that it went off both good and bad. There are certain things that I've learned from that I do not want happening again. I most definitely learned from that. If I plan a storyline with this many different people in it, I probably never will again.
Yeah.
There were just too many factors that could change the overall arc. Like, I had to alter the Act 2 company storyline, I think it was 6 different times. Because of individual changes people were making to their characters.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here going, okay, people, I get that they're your characters, but dude, come on. So I think from now on, the company storylines are going to revolve around 3 people max.
Sounds like a good idea.
What else? Act 2, like I said, officially ends after Raising Hell. I do want to give out some congratulatory notices. Congratulatory notices. There we go. Shut up. I want to give out congratulatory notices to Ryan for making Bethany something I never, ever thought I would see her become. I want to give them out to Vince Jones for being exactly who I expected him to be when we did this about Act 1. If you'll remember, when we did Act 1 and I was asked who were the people to watch out for, I said flat out, in Act 2, Vince Jones will win a title.
You alright?
Let's see. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I pulled my headset out with my foot.
Oh, that was smart.
Yeah. Right?
Chris,
Alright.
Chris got the brains.
Chris got the brains. Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
I do want to give. It's not necessarily a. Let me finish the congratulatory first.
Yeah. One thing at a time, dude. Jeez.
Right. Yeah. My brain's jumping around.
Chill, dude. Just chill.
Chris L. Because the biggest issue Kyle Travis had in Act 1 was sticking to the whole Jessica is Jessica thing.
Yeah, that was the only thing that got me with him.
Sticking to a couple of facts that really hurt him early on. And there are some things that did hurt him in Act 2, but not nearly as bad as they would have if he continued that trend.
Yeah.
He became focused on Aaron as the paper champion. Which is just not smart, because if Aaron Donnelly turns her attention to Kyle Travis, she will kick his head clean off his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
But he took the criticism from the first podcast. I did. And he actually changed it enough to where Kyle was able to win a championship.
Yeah.
To where Kyle was able to qualify, in my eyes, to be worthy of a world title shot. So, I mean, congratulations to Chris L. You did exactly what I expected you to do, dude. You took the advice and you ran with it. Now, take this advice and run with it again. Kyle Travis needs to drop the arrogance a little bit. It's hurting his character, not helping it. Let's see here. I don't have to tell Vince Jones' handler to change anything or alter shit. Vince Jones is amazing. He will be world champion. She's telling me something, and yes, I will get to that. You are on the list. Shut the fuck up. Let me get to her, because she won't leave until I do. A congratulatory... A woman? I'm aware what the word is. Shut up. Stared at me. A congratulatory notice to Erin Donnelly, because this is her first defect.
And she's done awesomely.
Yeah. Not only did she run Maiko as becoming a very clear border #1 writer in the Children of Nephilim. She is almost the #1 writer in that group.
Yeah.
But she was also able to win the title at our first pay-per-view and defend it, I believe it's 4 times now, successfully.
And one of those times was against 3 other people.
Right, and one of those times was against 3 other people who any one of them could have taken the title from her. I think that's it for the congratulatory. The congratulation notices, for fuck's sake.
Learn to speak, dude.
I can't. It's hot as shit in here, and at least the air conditioner feels cold now.
We need to trade then. I'm freezing.
Well, you're also. It's cold where you are. It's hot as fuck where we are right now.
Yeah, it's only just. No, actually, it's not quite the start of spring yet. We're on the tail end of winter.
See, the problem now is I had something I wanted to get into and I forgot what it was because I had to wait.
Oh. See, if T nominates me to do the ice challenge, grr, it's freezing. Not fair.
You can always do it in your bathtub.
My lovely pink bathtub.
Yes, your lovely pink bathtub.
It's dyed pink again at the moment. I cleaned it from last time and now it's pink again.
Very nice.
Joys of having coloured hair.
Let's see here. Anything else from Act 2?
Problem is, it's still cold inside, not just outside.
Got it. That's what it was. Okay. I want to give notice and recognition. Shane left UWA 4 months ago.
Yep.
That man has not stopped writing matches for me.
Nope, he hasn't.
He has not stopped offering to help with the show. So, Shane, if you're listening, thank you. It helps. You needed time off, you took it, but you still stayed and helped me with the staff and the staff aspect of it. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Act 3. You think I should announce the Act 3 feuds?
Yeah, if you want to.
Just so people know what to be looking for?
Sure.
Okay. I wasn't sure how that would go over. Okay, the Act 3 feuds, the major ones, are going to be the MC group, and the Children of Nephilim.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the children as a whole, not necessarily going to be a individual feud between members of each group. Okay? The world title feud for the first portion of Act 3 will feature your lovely world champion T as Aaron, and the lovely podcast person. Yeah, podcast person as Jessica. When you all saw what happened, obviously by now when you were listening to this, you've all seen what happened between Aaron and Jessica at the pay-per-view. Selena doesn't know yet.
Yeah, I'll just pretend I know.
But this will lead directly into Jessica wanting payback.
Oh.
The others are, while the children are feuding with this MC group, Joshua McBride will become the target of being harassed himself for the first half of the Act 3 story arc. Broderick Montgomery is going to take the torment and mind games to Joshua.
Ooh.
And on the other half of that, he is going to recruit the only person right now he trusts to help him, which is one Miss Bethany Kenyon.
Nice.
He is going to recruit Bethany to help him, and while he is tormenting Father Joshua, Miss Bethany is going to be tormenting the priestess.
Ah.
Now, because Miss Selena is taking some time off.
Yep, sadly.
At the end of the first half of Act 3, Brody will slide from a feud with Joshua into a feud with Aaron Donnelly because of how the feud with Jessica ends.
Ooh.
Joshua will slide into a feud with a member of this MC group who has yet to be introduced.
Ah.
Bethany will continue her feud with Maika.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking I need to figure out something to do for Ashley, but I think Ashley may go into a feud with Vince Jones.
Ah.
I can picture it being a woman with Ashley's convictions would not take kindly to someone who views women like Vince Jones does.
Ah.
It's only a matter of time before one of these Kenyon sisters decides to shut Vince Jones' mouth permanently.
Yeah.
The TV title feud for Act 3 is going to be a three-way feud between Amy Singh, Jay Shades, and Bob Brooks. If Roe decides to stick around after you take time off, because I know one of the reasons he's here is because you're here.
Yeah.
So, if he does stick around, he has earned a title feud as far as I'm concerned. He's been active. He's done everything we've asked of him. He's sent questions in. He's missed a couple of shows, but I'm sure he has real life issues. But there's a possibility, depending on certain people, that I may slide Kyle Travis into the North American title feud. Let's see. Those are the only ones I know as of right now. Anybody who's not in a feud, if you want to be, get an idea of what you want to do and come to me. Because I'm only going to book specific feuds. And if you have nothing to do after that, that's your own fault. Talk to people. As harsh as that may sound. Let's see. I should really take notes or something before I do these things.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I've already given the match writing shout outs, and I can't stress that enough. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Pat and Chris L. Thank all you guys for the match writing. We wouldn't be who we are without you guys.
No, we wouldn't.
Allow me to extend the UWA notice to you. We will miss you, Selena.
Aww.
All of us will.
Well, I'm not going far. I'll still be around. Just not
Yeah,
in character.
you're not giving us sexy goodness to read all the time anymore now.
Aww.
You know, I can guarantee you there are people who are looking forward to reading, you know, Melissa and Jessica's, you know, reunion with the knots and the whips and the lipstick. I'm particularly not one of them.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive. Oh, God, I'm positive. Let's see. What else do I want to get into? Okay, here's something that's just from Act 2. If y'all want to be involved in one of these acts, come to me. I'm open. I will try to figure out a way to fit you into a feud in Act 4, or if you come to me in Act 4, in Act 1 of the second year, I will try to do something to get you involved. However, if you're involved, stick more or less to the program, or I'm going to find you and kick you square in the crotch. Yes. Anyway. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to get off. I need to say about Act 2. No, I think that's it. Y'all did great. It was an amazing act. The storyline was crisp. The arc wasn't over the top overly much, and we got other people involved in it that weren't originally going to be involved, like Fraser helping Aaron that one show, and you know, Kyle Travis sticking his nose in with Joshua with a couple of verbal jibes. So we got other people that weren't necessarily going to be involved originally involved in peripheral ways. So good luck in Act 3.